Hello and welcome to yet another episode of In Pursuit of. My guest today is Sarika Panda, founder of Raahgiri Foundation. Welcome, Sarika. Welcome to our show. And I want to know what you are in pursuit of.
I'm in pursuit of creating more livable and sustainable cities where, anyone can walk safely, cycle safely, and loiter wherever they want to.
Sarika, tell me what does your organization do?
Our organization work on sustainable mobility and road safety. So basically creating more inclusive street where people can walk and cycle and also where people are safe. We work closely with government organizations and we are a bunch of architects, urban planners, urban designers who are, working strong and hard to create this inclusive and safe streets.
So, Sarika, when you say you're working towards this, how long have you been doing this? That's one. And in that time period, what is the kind of impact that you've managed to make and how would you measure it?
Measuring is difficult right now, but yes. So I am in this profession from last 20 years, but Raahgiri Foundation is a 10-year-old organization. And basically, what we do is we work with government as a knowledge partner. We only work with government organizations through independent and CSR funding. Right now, we are working mainly in Haryana and especially in Gurgaon. So in Gurgaon, it took 10 years now where we can see some impact. We were advocating for a safe city,
That's true.
and which address everyone in the society, especially the poorest of the section. And they are the most vulnerable when they are commuting. So our whole focus is on how to create more safe infrastructure for pedestrians, cyclists, women, children, elderlies, where they can actually commute. Because all these people don't own a vehicle. So they are dependent on public transport or walking and cycling. Raahgiri Day, which we demonstrate on Sundays, this kind of street for few hours. But right now we are working towards creating 24/7 Raahgiri streets. So in Gurgaon, we are working on couple of kilometer of streets. One of the street is going to complete by January. So it's a 2.5 kilometer of street in one of the industrial area, Udyog Vihar.
So, what happens there?
Initially, the plan was to widen the road and cut all the trees. But we know the situation right now, all of us are facing the severe air pollution. In this situation, we cannot have even, cut even single tree. So then we realized that, we don't need road widening because 80% people in that street either walk, cycle, or use informal public transport like auto rickshaws, e-rickshaws, and public transport.
Right.
So why you need to widen the road? What you need to do is provide safe space for pedestrians and cyclists.
Right, absolutely.
And then you segregate, motor vehicle from pedestrians, from cyclists. Then of course your traffic also moves very easily.
So, Sarika, tell me two things. One is this is just 2.5 kilometers stretch of road, and there's so much. How long does it take to just work with the government to come to, a conclusion or some solution for just 2.5 kilometers? And then I can only imagine how much time it would take otherwise.
Yeah.
Rather frustrating, I think.
Absolutely. It's a very good question, actually. But, somewhere we need to start and demonstrate. This is the one street that we are developing by ourselves to showcase that, every street in Gurgaon can be transformed like this. So one street we are doing ourselves, but we have already helped in designing almost 30 kilometer of the street. So what we are doing is, see, this 2.5 kilometer is actually, catering to more than 1 lakh people every day. In this 2.5 kilometer, there are 50 odd corporates, there are 10, 20 odd industries, and there are 2 urban villages next to it. So people from urban villages just walk to these offices. So that's why we have chosen this street, first of all. Second of all, we have also, we're going to start the work, but that is another 4 kilometer in neighborhood street. For, it's like, in neighborhood, there is a school, there is a hospital, there is a market, and there are residential areas, right? So they actually can walk to the school, walk to the hospital, or walk to nearby metro station, or walk to the market.
Right.
So this kind of work we slowly started, but there is a plan by government itself only, because they have adopted it. They also understand that it's the need of the hour. So by 2025, they are also trying to build some 100 kilometer of such street. Actually.
Really? In Gurgaon?
In Gurgaon, yes.
That's amazing.
But of course, what you said, that is, no, we need network. Only then only we will see the real success. Then only we will able to measure the impact. But in all this can address the entire neighborhood. So that's also measurable impact that you can see. It's a chicken and egg situation.
Absolutely.
And somewhere you need to start and demonstrate. And then I think things will improve in next 4-5 years.
But Sarika, tell me, when you say that there's a neighborhood which you are working at where, it'll all be for pedestrians and cyclists, but do you think people are willing to adopt this? Where they are actually willing to let go of their cars and say, I can tell you in GK2 market, they want to be dropped off right in front of the shop. They don't want to walk from like 3 cars ahead to the shop. So would people actually be willing to adopt this?
Absolutely. See, that's a myth again. And you said that GK, everyone wants to park their car in front of
They
their
want to
shop.
be dropped there.
Yeah, it's a mindset change that we are trying to do through Raahgiri days. When people come there, cycle there, walk there, we try to engage with them and try to create that awareness, that actually mindset change also happens when you see world-class infrastructure. For example, right, that is the thing. We go to Europe and many American cities and many developed countries, and what we do, we walk or use public transport. So why can't that can happen in India?
It's true.
It's simple thing, if you compare with even in South Asian countries like Korea, China or Japan, they have also adopted this. Lot of motor vehicles, but still people for regular commute, like, going to office, going to schools.
People drive like crazy. There's no place
Yeah.
to walk. I mean, just a park down the road in my colony, I won't let my son go alone.
So this is what we want to focus actually, speed. Speed already we have reduced in that neighborhood to 30, and it will go down to 20 after we implement this. And basic changes like having a 1.8 kilometer of footpath, clear, clean,
Yes.
shaded.
Yes.
That is also important. There should be trees along the street and all that. And this is very, very minimal, which we can actually give to people.
Yes, absolutely. Very nice. So, Sarika, I have always enjoyed Raahgiri Day, I must tell you.
Yeah.
And I've been taking my son there since he was 3.
Yeah.
And so, for the last 5 years, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I have cycled around. I have, done drawings with him. I've participated in the Zumba. Tell us more about how you started that.
This concept actually is a very old concept, especially in US and Latin America. They call it Seclovia, and in US they call it Summer Street. So I have attended few there, and my another co-founder came out with this idea that why can't we do it in Gurgaon? So it took 6 months for us to brainstorm, meet more people, getting more stakeholders on board, private and government both, and especially government, they need to say yes, right? So they were like something not possible kind. Then we said that, okay, let's do one Raahgiri. and we will manage, we are not stopping anyone. There must be some emergency vehicles need to move and people need to go somewhere, but we actually convinced the Gurgaon authority, Gurgaon police, that let's do one Raahgiri. And they are on board. They also got excited about the concept. The citizens group were excited, education institute, schools, a lot of schools were part of Raahgiri Day. So it's not Raahgiri Foundation or us. It's always driven by people, by the community. It's like because of them, Raahgiri become Raahgiri. So we were like so much nervous, will people will come or not. We were clueless, but we put together something. Let's do a sports activity. Let's do some cultural activity. Let's put some cycles around, and first Sunday, 10,000 people on
My
street.
goodness.
Yes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we were like, wow. And then government also realized that people need it and people want it.
Want to
When
celebrate being
10,000 people
outside.
coming, with wheelchair, with their pets, with their toddlers in a pram and enjoying, that means there is a demand. There is a demand for such street. Right? Always there is this argument that India is different. Why it is different? No. Like, it's always like people want a quality of life. That's it. That is the only thing people come to city. We migrate to city for opportunities and quality of life. But are we getting it? No. So this is how we thought of try to demonstrate. The cities, like the streets for people.
What is your program? I mean, is it a program? How does it like? What does the foundation you said is working at redeveloping certain streets and convincing the government to redevelop certain areas, certain streets, and there is Raahgiri Foundation.
Yeah.
There must be some way they connect with each other. Some way how does your program work?
Okay, so we actually have MOU with government, and we run different programs actually. For example, for road safety, we work Vision Zero program.
Okay.
So basically, zero road fatalities and serious injuries in road, which is again, it's an again Western concept, but many cities has adopted the principle of Vision Zero and actually able to reduce road traffic deaths, injuries in their countries, in their cities. Because road safety means in India and in many other countries also educating people. Educating people to wear helmet, seat belt, don't talk over phone, traffic rules. That's not the main challenge actually. The problem is with the road engineering. Because of that, so many people are dying or getting killed in road accidents. Can you imagine 2 lakh people getting killed every year in India due to road traffic deaths? And the most sad part is most of them are only breadwinner of the family. And then can you imagine the kind of social impact, economic impact happens to that family if one person dying. Second, we call it street for all. That is where we work on the street part. So in road safety part, we try to improve intersections. Okay, so and in this Street for All program, we are working on redesigning streets and public spaces also. How we can create street also which is sustainable. For example, the street we are working, we are using a lot of CND waste on that street. And the way we have did our landscaping, the plantation who can recharge groundwater, the streets should never face water logging. And most of the water we can recharge, including solid waste, including eye on street. When we talk about gender and mobility, safety of women or anyone is so very important when you are walking in a street or waiting in a bus stop or whatever. So we actually incorporated all the street vendors in our design. We didn't remove them. What you need to do is actually giving them a right kind of space in your design.
Right, absolutely.
Right? They are part of our society, our system, our economic development. It is not just street vendor means, it's a problem for the society.
Right.
The 50% GDP in our country comes from this informal sector. How we can incorporate this is the right way to look into rather than removing them, because they are the eye on street. When people are around you, you feel safe. Perception of safety don't come from hardcore infrastructure. It comes from people around you.
Right. Absolutely. Sarika, thank you so much. It was indeed a pleasure to talk to you and know more about what Raahgiri Foundation does. And on that note, stay tuned while I talk more with Sarika Panda only on In Pursuit of.